All right, guys, this is gonna be another really quick, to the point video. This is my Trek Remedy. It's like a 2015 model Trek Remedy 7, and the motor on here is a CYC X1 Pro, and it's a 52 volt system. And I also have the CYC battery on here. The controller is mounted back here. I did have to put a mud flap here so that it does not kick up too much dirt and mud on the controller, but it is pretty much waterproof, although I just don't recommend driving these e-bikes in the rain too much anyhow, just for the longevity of the wiring and everything. But anyhow, the controller's right here, and this is the least expensive controller, the display that they have. And the display's got 5 settings. 5 is a little bit too powerful for a bicycle, in my opinion, because you can feel it torquing everything down here. It shifts slightly because there's so much torque. Just real quickly, I demoed a Trek factory version, and just straight from the factory e-bike. And when I have this bike on level 1, it has at least 5 times more power than the factory Trek e-bikes on the turbo mode, like a Turbo Levo and all that. Well, this thing has way more power and is more almost like a dirt bike. It's between a dirt bike and a bicycle. It has so much power. This one's really set up like the 3,000 watt version. But anyway, just quickly, there's so many videos out there. You can figure out how to put all this stuff together. But I just want to run through just a couple pointers real quickly. All right, you want to get the special tool for the lower bracket, because if not, it is going to strip out. There's a special wrench for this, okay? And in total, I spent like $50 on tools. Let me see if I can reach this stuff from up here real quick. So what I did is I just got a box of like tools. So I bought this wrench off of the Amazon or whatever. Anyway, I recommend getting the appropriate tools to work on this bike, because first I was trying to use just like a screwdriver and kind of pound on this and a hammer and stuff, and it just was messing it all up, stripping it out. So you will want the right tool for that bottom bracket. One other quick thing, before you put these pedals on here and tighten this bolt down, make sure everything is good, because once that's tightened down and that presses in, this is a really big pain in the butt to get off of here, okay? Another problem, the battery, mounting a battery on here, okay? It is no problem for me to have this battery mounted up on the top bar. A lot of people put them down in here, okay, whatever, but this one is a bigger battery. It won't fit there. It's a full suspension bike, so it works perfectly fine up there. I have no problems. It does not make the bike even top heavy because there's weight down at the bottom, and it kind of balances itself out. But I did have this battery mounted on a rack back here before, and that was not a good idea. It fell off and busted the battery, and then I had to open up the battery and repair it from the inside and fix all the little wires in there and everything else. And if you don't know what you're doing, don't even get into that, because it can be dangerous. Now, my battery is mounted with little aluminum pieces that are threaded, and these are hose clamps covered with a little plastic cover right here. And that kit is super duper nice. It's just a little kit for any e-bike. It's a universal kit. It's got little tiny aluminum pieces that are threaded, and this bracket connected to the battery bolts straight to that little piece, which is bolted straight to the frame, and it is solid as can be. No problems whatsoever. Highly recommend using some kind of reinforced battery mount so you don't have any issues. Now, other little things I learned on this bike, I've got 150 miles on it now. I ran into a problem with the motor down here, started making a grinding noise, and I have no idea what the heck was causing it. I took the whole motor apart, every piece inside, took the motor apart, looked at every little piece, and lubricated everything inside, put it all back together, and it's working perfectly. So I'm not sure what was causing the grinding noise inside here, but it could have been just these loose screws. So if you're getting a grinding noise, first try to tighten these up right in here, okay? Second, make sure that all of your wires are connected well. And third, if you really can't figure it out, then I had to take mine apart and lubricate inside there with a very light coat of lubrication. Don't use a lot because it will gum it up and dirt will get stuck in there, and then you'll have more problems than you did before. So just a really light coat of lubrication inside the motor, and everything's working perfectly. Okay, another thing is the controller will sometimes blink. It'll blink. There's a little red light back here, okay? And when it turns on, it should always be on steady. You should not be blinking. If that thing starts blinking, then it can cause you problems. One of the problems that I had was just a loose connection in one of these wires up here. So I just connected all my wires again, and that fixed the problem. The light would stop blinking there. The other issue that I had with this system was down here on the bottom bracket. If this bottom bracket is loose at all, then this wire right here will get jerked around and it can actually break. Thankfully, I caught mine before this wire broke, because if you break this wire, then you will not be able to pedal and have pedal assist. You'll just have the throttle only, because you can straight up unplug this wire and you'll just have throttle like a dirt bike. This will be useless, but it's very nice to be able to have the pedal assist. Pretty much other than that, everything on here, I mean, right now this bike is working perfectly. It's dirty, but everything works great. I highly recommend this system. It's built pretty tough. If you've ever worked on an RC car, it's very similar. The parts are all small and everything requires patience. Set aside some time and have a lot of patience to put everything together. The last thing I'll mention is the controller. The controller was a pain to figure out how to mount. I made up a mount of my own with some super thick gauge wire right here. Drilled a couple holes on either side of this and just cranked down that wires with the pliers, and it's been on there. I've hit jumps and everything with this bike, and the controller is solid. No problem. So I have no issue with the way I mounted that thing. I've taken this thing on 3-4 hour long rides. Have no issues whatsoever. The only issue I ever had with this thing was when the battery wasn't mounted properly. That was my fault. The motor started making a grinding noise. I have no idea what that was for sure, but it was probably loose bolts up here at the motor housing. And the controller was blinking before, and I had no throttle response, no nothing. And all it was this wire up here that goes to the throttle was loosened. So other than that, it's a very solid system. I give this system really, it's like a 4.5 out of 5. Some stuff could be better, but what the heck, it's a home built project. So a lot of it depends on you and your ability to, make it better. So Thanks for watching. I hope this video helps someone.